Joining us now are two women making a difference and really launching almost a movement, I would say. Welcome to Judy Papa and Daniela Sigia. Judy couldn't be with us in studio, so she is joining us on the phone. Hi there, Judy.
Hello.
So really the story starts with you and your son, who was diagnosed with leukemia. So tell our listeners what happened.
So for a month he wasn't feeling well. He had fevers. We'd take him to multiple doctors, and one night my husband and I decided it's time to take him to Sick Kids. Let's get to the bottom of this. And on June 10th, we went in, and within a matter of a couple of hours, we were advised that he had ALL leukemia. Not what we expected to hear, considering it's leukemia, it's one of the better ones. There's a roadmap to it, and thank goodness he was on remission already on day 29, and he is still in the midst of chemo. Could take about 6 to 9 months, but we are very thankful for Sick Kids.
Well, he's only 3 years old. That must have been a huge struggle for you.
It was earth-shattering. That's not the news that we expected to hear, for sure.
And you have certainly not news anybody wants to hear.
No, we just thought we would be told he's dehydrated and let's hook him up to some IV. It was very shocking.
Well, you're still undergoing treatment with him, and I think most parents would figure that was enough on their plate, along with 2 other children and a job that you're now taking a little break from to talk to us.
Right.
But you decided that wasn't enough, that you really felt the urge, the need to say thank you. And so what did you do?
So I contacted my friend Daniela with an idea that I wanted to collect textiles. I was thinking locally with family and friends, and within a matter of hours, she made it bigger than I would have ever thought. There was multiple locations for drop-offs, and I'm very blessed to have a great friend who was able to take my idea and make it bigger than I thought it was going to be. I think it's a win-win. It's 10 cents a pound of clothing will go to changes into dollars, goes to Sick Kids. So I wanted to do that.
Okay, so Judy, you can't see that Daniela is in studio smiling, beaming.
Actually trying not to cry.
So what happened when you got that phone call?
She actually reached out on Facebook. I was doing a lot of social media advertising about a pilot project we're doing in partnership with York Region in Aurora to divert textiles from landfill. We're doing a recycling project out there.
Well, we should tell people first your position. You are Vice President of Development for
Textile Waste Diversion. So I'm the one to know if you want to do a clothing drive, that's for sure, right? So she reached out to me and said, I want to do this locally. What do you think? And I says, well, give it to me for an hour and let me see what I can do. And I put out another call on social media, and it went viral, especially once Tracy Lemery jumped on board. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she's a bit of a powerhouse.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
Daniela, just for a minute, let's talk about this. I always thought that when I was afraid of picking through my clothes what to give to the box, because I thought, well, who's going to wear that? And I didn't realize that clothes are recycled the same way that plastic and
95% of all textiles can be recycled, regardless of the condition they're in. So if I can't use it for reuse, we can shred it for upholstery, worst case scenario.
Well, let's talk about those boxes that we see everywhere, because those boxes quite often that you think are going to a charity, the one, it's in the Costco parking lot or wherever it is, it's not. Those people are taking those clothes and they're selling it.
Right.
For a pound.
But even in that situation, even when they're not a charity, it's still being diverted from landfill.
That's good.
Yeah. So
that's good.
It's about buyer beware, or, being very careful and doing your research on who you want to support. But that's becoming easier and easier. The industry has really evolved in the last few years.
Well, I'm just delighted to know that it's being recycled. I just had no idea. I thought I've thrown clothes in the garbage because I didn't think anybody would wear them.
We have a process in place, like I said, where 95% of all textiles can be reused or recycled, but, we're still behind the times in Canada. There's new green technology in Europe I would love to bring here, where it would actually turn this kind of recycling process into like a new industry for manufacturing.
So what's different about that?
We can make things like insulation. So as opposed to shredding fabrics and putting it in upholstery that has no value, so we actually process that stuff at a loss a lot of the times. Where if we could actually find a value-added product to make with it, so the farming industry is one, agriculture, the automotive industry is a potential. We can actually make value-added products that can be used locally, which means we can then process our clothes locally as opposed to exporting, which is something that happens a lot right now.
So are you going to maybe change your plant into this?
Well,
in the future?
I've actually been researching this for a long time. It's on our agenda in the next 5 years, but in order to do that, I need to increase collection in order to obviously fund that kind of endeavor. And that's where the 50 million pound project comes in that Judy saw us talk about online and then had her reach out.
The 50 million pound project is?
Our goal is to divert 50 million pounds of textiles away from landfill in the next calendar year.
So this is a win-win for anybody who wants to take part in this particular drive.
Yes.
Which would be donating to sick kids as well as, helping the environment.
And yep.
You have a whole lot of drop-off locations.
Tons.
So why don't we just go through some of those? Because we have a ton of listeners who I'm sure would love to be able to be part of this.
So in Woodbridge on September 11, the Lions Club is generously donating their parking lot, so you can come and drop some stuff off. In Hamilton, homeowner, 944 Concession Street is a Hamilton drop-off. Welland, Ontario at 36 Charlotte Court. And in Mississauga, we have Studio 89, which is a wonderful coffee shop. It's a social enterprise run by Zero Waste Mississauga, and they're our collection point in Mississauga.
So what about people who live further away? Let's say they live in Ottawa. Let's say they live in Collingwood. How could they be part of this, or can they not?
Oh, they can, because textile waste diversion operates from Windsor to Ottawa, all of southern Ontario. So call us and I'll make it happen.
Really?
Yeah,
Anybody can call in. So give us the number that people can call in wherever they are. She's looking it up now.
Up the number now. We put her on the spot.
Because they're always calling me. I don't call them. Okay, so our number is 1-888-980-8756.
And say it again, one more time.
888-980-8756.
So anyone who wants to donate or anybody who wants to start something in their community
Absolutely.
To help this cause?
For this cause, any cause, we love to help the environment. We love to help, good causes. Grassroots causes are always fun just because it feels good. And yeah.
Do you partner up with a lot of people who have a mission to raise money for something?
We did. Last year was the Syrian refugees. That was very, very popular, and that also went viral. That was another one that went viral. We do things all the time. Little charities, big charities. We're happy to help.
Judy, were you surprised this snowballed so much?
I was, yes. When people know that it's going to a charity, that the money's going to a charity, they've all been in the back of their closets pulling out what they can. I'll tell them, even if it's a shoe, it doesn't have to be a pair. If you're missing one, bring it, put it in that bag.
She's become a recycling expert.
Well, you know what? We have a puppy, and I think we do have a few single shoes around the house.
What was the reaction from Sick Children's Hospital?
They were grateful. They thought that was really out of the box thinking, So they weren't sure at first what exactly I thought I was doing, but then they grasped it. They got the idea, and they appreciate it. Yeah.
And do your children understand what you're doing in terms of giving back? Because what a great role model.
My older two, of course, they do. The little guy doesn't, and I'm sure one day he'll understand. I felt that I needed to do it because I'm thankful for the people who contributed and donated before me, and I feel without their support, my son wouldn't have been in remission. There wouldn't have been research or all the little extras that Sick Kids has, a lot of extras that Sick Kids gives, and I felt like it was my turn to give back, and that this is the way I felt I could do it.
Well, thank you both very, very much for telling us about this. And we'll put up links on our social media. We'll tag everyone. So, of course, just follow at What She Said Talk, and you will be able to clean out your closets for a very good cause. Thank you both for telling us about this.
Thank you.
Okay. After the break, it is time for On the Record with music guru Eric Alper with a look at some of the pre-show rituals some of the best-known bands and performers go through. You'll be surprised. Stay with us.